All right, now I'm going to start UVing the body. So now everything's looking pretty even. So I'm just going to do a straight planar projection from the front. And then I'm going to select edge loops and then cut UV in the UV editing tool. And I'm making these selections based on, how I kind of want it to be polygrouped. And also I'm trying to divide each area up in a way that is equal on all sides. So I just cut UV in the area that I want for the seam, and then I'll just go ahead and use Unfold UVs Legacy and do horizontal and vertical, and I'll do several iterations of each. I need to cap that mouth sac area, so I'm just going to quickly do that. Make sure all this lines up. It doesn't matter a whole ton, but it's really nice to keep things clean. All right, just continuing to make my cut lines, unfolding. And with Maya's new unfolding algorithm, it's really, really easy to do this part. Now my feet and hands are, the topology is so clean that it's super easy to just select that border around the toes and the hands and then just split. Cool, so now I'm just placing and packing each part of the body. And what I did there was I used this checker size tool. You can get that from Creative Crash. It's just a free tool to help ratio your UVs so that all islands take up the same amount of texture space. And there you go. The body is UV'd. All right, now I'm going to add some fingernails. And these are just cubes that are smoothed and then shaped in a fingernail shape. So I'm just loosely placing them. And they'll all change later in ZBrush, but for now I have some placement for them. And then I'm going to make some edits to the hand topology and the feet topology so that there's more room to deform around the knuckles. And this is really helpful for rigging. More likely than not, the rigging team's going to request that you have enough edge loops to deform with. So I'll just go ahead and do this step so that they have what they need and your mesh is super clean. All right, I'm just adding some extra topology, and there we go. I'm adding that little eyelid topology area so that it can roll up into the eye, and so there'd be enough topology to close the whole eyelid as well. All right, so I've re-merged just in case it didn't go to the other side of the model. And I'm just continuing to slide some edges around. And now I'm UVing my fingernails really quickly. Same thing, just projection mapping, planar projection, and then I'm choosing the seams I want to be the edges I want to be my seams, and then cutting them, and then unfolding, and then layout tool. It's very easy. All right, great. Now I can export both of these OBJs. And I'm going to go to ZBrush and start to reproject. So I'll just append a new model. And now I can go ahead and polygroup by UV, auto groups with UV. And then I can quickly make areas to project onto so that I don't mess up certain areas. All right, so now I only have my body and my original sculpture showing, so I can go and and just project the body area with my poly group. And that way, and I do this division by division. So I don't just go up to level 6 and hit project. I go division by division so I don't have any errors in my projection. So I'm just kind of doing it bit by bit. Definitely not going to project the mouth and eye and nostril sacs, because that's just going to cause a lot of errors. And I'm being very selective about where the unmasked areas are. So basically, if you mask out an area before you project, that area will not be projected onto. And that way you can protect a lot of things you did on purpose. You can also move some of the model around and reproject. And that's really helpful too, to make sure that your edge loops are flowing the way that you want. So I'm just being really, really careful with the toes, since I know that I didn't model it too close to the original sculpture. And I'm just going through piece by piece, dividing again, masking it out, reprojecting, and then cleaning up. So how I just have a little piece of that toe unmasked, and then I'll project and then fix it. Same with this. So you'll get areas like those little eyelid things that you have to smooth out. If you're on solo mode too, it's really easy to toggle back and forth between your sculpture or scan and your new topology. You just press arrow up and arrow down to toggle. So now I'm just cleaning up some areas that got messed up in the projection, making sure the inside of the eyelid isn't damaged. Same with the nostrils or the inside of the lips. It's real easy to project incorrectly. So I'm just isolating that bottom lip area. Making sure that there's enough thickness and it's not looking strange. And I'll continue with the making sure the nasolabial fold is on the right edge flow based on what you've sculpted. And now I'm just fixing up this armpit area. It's a little tricky since the armpits are closed. You'll more than likely need to give your rigging department a corrective blend shape for when the arms are higher up. But since, let's just say that I know what this character is going to be used for, and it's just for basic kind of walking movements, then the A pose is perfect for that. A T pose is better if you know your character is going to be swinging from trees or doing a lot of big arm movements where you see inside the armpit. All right, now I am showing all my elements, and now I have new body topology, which is great. And now what I can do is start to shape my fingernails and go back to my body sculpture and kind of do the inverse sculpture underneath the fingernail so that there aren't nails anymore. It's just kind of a bed to receive them underneath. So I'm just shaping my fingernails, and then underneath I'm smoothing out the nail that I had built in the sculpture so that they can be separate objects. And I'm just doing some quick detailing work just to make sure everything lines up. Make sure that it looks like the skin is hugging against the nail and that it's very thin around the cuticle area. And then you can just rotate and, make sure that that nail is working the way you want. And also, I use a move tool to just make sure that it's, the length that I want to. All right, great. So now I'm gonna apply that same heels layer to my new topology. So I'm just gonna kind of match what I've done to my old one. Just kind of push my feet into the high heel position. And I'm making sure that I am on a layer. And also just a quick note, make sure that your layers are always made at your highest subdivision level. All right, so now I'm just making sure that my feet are pushed into my shoes. And now everything has really, really nice topology. So I can use Subtool Master Export to export all my level 1 meshes. And now I'm going to go to Maya and bring them all in. All right, now that everything's inside of Maya, I can start UVing and organizing all of my subtools.